I bought a brand new $3,000 riding mower for a quarter-acre yard. That's the small mistake. The cost wasn't the money. It was the year of my retirement it swallowed up. I've been retired 4 years now, and I can tell you, that first year is the one you can't get back. I spent it washing and tuning a machine I didn't need instead of figuring out what I actually wanted to do. I even missed a fishing trip over it. One dumb purchase can become the center of your whole new life if you let it, and I let it. Hey everybody, welcome back. My name's Gary. So the story starts in that first month I was done. The business had just sort of wound down, no big party. Diane and I decided over eggs at the diner, and suddenly I had all this time, and not a lot to fill it with. I'd walk through the garage past my old push mower. It worked fine. My knees were sore, sure, but it worked. Then I saw the ad in the Sunday flyer from the hardware store. That zero-turn radius mower, shiny green, looked like a little tractor. I showed Diane. She just raised an eyebrow and said, "You sure?" I told myself it was a retirement gift to myself, a practical one, for my knees. Looking back, that was a fancy way of saying I wanted a shiny toy. It was maybe 10% about my knees. Now the big cost wasn't the price tag. That was just over $3 grand, which is plenty. The real cost was the chain of spending it started. See, the mower needed a special shed cover. That was $120. Then I got it in my head I could get a little trailer, help the neighbors, maybe make a few bucks. Bought the trailer. Never made a dime. The first tune-up was a surprise $200. I became the guy at the hardware store they'd smile at when I walked in. They knew me. Knew I'd be buying some accessory or another. A can of that special cleaner. A new blade. It never ended. And it ate up my time. But in the worst way. I spent more time washing and maintaining that mower than I ever did mowing. Our little yard took 15 minutes. Then I'd spend an hour puttering, checking the oil, wiping it down, adjusting the seat. I went from having nothing to do to having a chore I invented for a machine I didn't need. Diane would see me out there just circling it. She never said anything. She didn't have to. The real cost, though, was the year it took from me. That first year of retirement. It got blurred out. It became about the mower. Instead of figuring out what I actually enjoyed, what this new chapter was supposed to feel like, I was focused on this thing, this lawn. I missed a fishing trip with my son Todd because the mower was in the shop and I wanted to be there when they called about the estimate. Think about that. I traded a day with my kid for a repair quote on a lawnmower. Not a good trade. The whole year felt like that. I'd wake up and think about the grass or the weather or the next thing the mower needed. I wasn't retired. I was a groundskeeper for a quarter-acre plot, and not a very happy one. I sold it last fall, got half what I paid for it. The guy who bought it was thrilled, just like I was at first. I went back to a basic electric push mower. It's quiet. It gets the job done. My knees are okay with it, and when I'm done, I'm done. I don't circle it. I put it away. So that's my small mistake. It wasn't the money, though $3,000 is nothing to sneeze at. It was letting one purchase become the center of my retirement for a whole year. That's a year I won't get back. A year of figuring things out, gone. Traded for a really nice lawn. Which I don't know if that's good or bad, honestly. But it's the truth. If you've made a retirement purchase you regret, tell me about it in the comments. I read them all. That's all I've got. Take care of yourself. Ever buy something you absolutely didn't need and then spend a whole year paying for it? Not just with money. Hey everybody, welcome back. My name's Gary. I want to talk about one small dumb decision I made right after I retired. Cost me a lot more than just cash. The mistake was buying a brand new zero-turn radius riding mower. Just over $3,000 for a yard that's maybe a quarter acre. I told myself it was a retirement gift to myself, which looking back is just a fancy way of saying I wanted a shiny toy. It all started that first month I was done. I had all this time and not a lot to fill it with. I'd walk past my old push mower in the garage every day, just looking at it. Then I saw the ad in a Sunday flyer from the hardware store. Full color picture. Looked like a spaceship. Diane saw me looking at it. She just raised an eyebrow and said, "You sure?" I said it'd be easier on my knees, which was maybe 10% true. The other 90% was just, I wanted it. So I bought it. They delivered it on a Tuesday, I remember that. Felt like a king for about a week. Now the big cost wasn't the price tag, it was the chain of spending it started. The mower needed a special shed cover, $120. Then I thought, well, if I've got this thing, maybe I could help the neighbors, make a few bucks. So I priced a little trailer. Never bought it, but I spent a lot of time thinking about it. Then the first tune-up came around. Surprise, $200. I became the guy at the hardware store they'd smile at when I walked in. They knew I was coming back for something, and it ate up my time in the worst way. I spent more time washing and maintaining that mower than I ever did mowing. Our little yard took 15 minutes. Then I'd spend an hour puttering with it, checking the blades, wiping it down. I went from having nothing to do to having a chore I invented for a machine I didn't need. But the real cost was the year it took from me. That first year of retirement, it just got blurred out by this project I gave myself. Instead of figuring out what I actually enjoyed, I was focused on the mower. I missed a fishing trip with my son Todd because the thing was in the shop. I remember Diane saying, "It's just a mower, Gary," but it wasn't by then. I'd made it the center of everything. I traded a year of figuring out my new life for a really nice lawn, not a good trade. So I'm in the garage last fall just looking at it. It's clean, looks brand new, and I realized I didn't own it anymore. It owned me. My whole week was scheduled around it. Weather, maintenance, all of it. I'd made myself a part-time job I had to pay for. The thrill was gone about 2 months in. After that, it was just a thing I had to take care of. I called Todd that night, told him I was selling the mower. He didn't say much, just, "Okay, Dad," but I could hear it, a little relief. Maybe he'd been waiting for me to figure it out. The next day I put it online. A young guy bought it, had a few acres. He was so excited, handed me the cash, and his face, it was my face. From that Tuesday they delivered it. Full circle. I went back to a basic electric push mower. Quiet, simple. I don't wash it. I just put it away. And that's when it hit me. The real mistake wasn't buying the mower. It was using it to hide. That first year is scary. You're just untethered. And that shiny thing gave me a rope to hold on to. A reason to get up. A problem to solve. Even if it was a fake problem. I traded a year for that. A year I could have spent figuring out who I was without a paint sprayer in my hand. A year of maybe more mornings with Diane. That fishing trip. You don't get those back. You just don't. And at my age, you start counting them. Not in a sad way, in a real way. You just know. So now it's just me and this little mower, and the quiet, and I'm okay with it. So that's the story. The small mistake wasn't the $3,000. It was letting that thing become the center of my world for a whole year. I used it to hide from the big, quiet question of what comes next. And that's what cost me. Not the money, the time. If this sounds familiar to you, or if you've got your own version of my zero-turn mower, I'd like to hear about it. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Tell me, what's the one purchase you made after you retired that you ended up regretting? Not because of the price, but because of the space it took up in your head and your time. I read every single one. It helps to know you're not the only one. And if you got anything out of this today, a like on the video helps more than you'd think. Let's other folks like us find it. Subscribe if you want more of this kind of talk. No fancy advice. Just real stuff from a guy figuring it out as he goes. Thanks for listening. Take care of yourselves.